Hello everybody, I'm in Munich at the 2019 Munich Security Conference where we've been meeting for the past, since Friday, very high level sessions and panels of a whole range of security issues from around the world. And in my mind, I think three have stood out as particularly significant, right? One, and perhaps the recurrent theme of the last 2-3 years, has been the transatlantic drift. Mike Pence spoke yesterday, Angela Merkel spoke yesterday. She gave a very forceful speech, which fundamentally was a rebuttal of the Trump administration and its policies towards Iran, pulling out from the Iran deal. Merkel defended that deal, the trade war with China, the trade war with Europe, the defense of multilateralism. Merkel made the case for all of these things, basically saying we disagree fundamentally with Americans on how the world is being run, and that has serious consequences for Europe and for the world, right? The second thing or theme that I have found that has been very pervasive throughout this conference has been the impending Brexit. It's approaching, very fast approaching. It's in a little bit over a month, and the sense here that the British have not come up with a coherent plan that can muster the support of Westminster, of the Parliament. So, Michel Barnier was saying yesterday, we've had 3 years since the vote, almost 2 years since Article 50 was activated, and still today we cannot really tell what sort of deal and agreement would have the support of the British Parliament. And he did say also, I've been a parliamentarian for many years, and I know that if you want unity in Parliament, you need to talk to the opposition, right? Which is something, it was a veiled or not too veiled message for Theresa May about the need for her to reach out to the Labour Party and try to come up with a comprehensive and widely supported deal that could be brought to Europe for negotiation. So really just bafflement on the European side by the level of confusion and how quickly the risk of a no-deal Brexit is actually rising. And the third topic, which I thought was fascinating, is the intersection of technology and global politics or global order. And I attended yesterday a town hall session on the rise of AI and its implications, artificial intelligence and its implications for international relations. And it was just a fascinating session about the impact of technology on economic growth and economic prosperity, and how much, by the way, the Chinese have improved their AI capacity across their economy and how that's impacting their economic might. Also the impact of technology on politics, of AI on politics, not just through surveillance and other mechanisms that AI is empowering, but also how AI just expands the capacity of communication technology and the capacity of states and non-state actors of interfering in electoral processes and in the public debate of other states. And the third dimension was military, how AI is actually changing the way we run logistics, the way we run target selection, and other issues linked to military capability. I think the underlying narrative there is that China is becoming a real competitor of the United States across all of these dimensions of technology and society, and that this poses a major challenge for the US. Actually, there was one figure that was mentioned, which is, if you think about it, if you look at the historical figures, the US had never faced a competitor, a geopolitical competitor, since 1885, so the end of the 19th century, that had a GDP which was greater than 40% of that of the US. So all of these competitors, including the Soviet Union, were all under 40% of US GDP. That's not the case of China. China is at 60% of US GDP and growing. So for the first time, the US is facing this major economic competitor that is now also moving into the tech space very aggressively, and that has explicitly said that by 2025 it wants to dominate in the AI space and cyberspace. So this idea of an emerging technological Cold War between the US and China was, in my mind, very present here at Munich. So some very major questions. I'm sure there were other sessions that were fascinating and addressed other things. Those three really stood out for me, and I think are going to shape the agenda and the debate in the next year for sure, and in the years to come. So fascinating weekend from Munich. Thanks for listening. Bye-bye.